And this is one of my biggest issues that I have with the Black community. We assume that when one of your children turns 18, it's time to kick them out. And also, I want to discuss this as well in regards to, I've seen some comments on Twitter where there were Black people asking, why was he living with his mother? And this is one of my biggest issues that I have with the Black community. We assume that when one of your children turns 18, it's time to kick them out. And that's not the way to go, because other races, if their kid is not ready to get out of the house, you do not push them out or kick them out. They are allowed to stay in their homes, cultivate what they want to do as long as they're working, or if they're in school, they find their way. And until they find their way, they're going to stay at their parents' house. But in the Black community, we have some notion that we have to kick our kids out as soon as possible, even if they're not ready to tackle the world as a full-grown adult. So for the people that was shaming this young man for being a full-time FedEx delivery driver and also going to school for photography, that's a bad look for the Black community. I am not for our community kicking our kids out when they are not ready. You can let them out of the house when they are prepared to do so. That's why you build so you can have a place for your kids to stay. Every house that I've bought, there's always a room specifically for my daughter. If she falls on hard times and she want to come out and stay with dad, I don't ask questions. I'm going to tell her to come on. But she going to work, but I'm not going to kick her out and send her out to the streets and let her be homeless. I don't know why the Black community does that. And I've dated women overseas. I've dated Italian women. I've dated German women. And they'll be working full-time jobs, but they still stay with their parents because they're not ready to move out. And that's not frowned upon. But for some odd reason, the Black community we're trying to get our kids out the house as soon as possible when they're not ready. And I'm going to keep harping on this because it was embarrassing for Black people to be on Twitter sitting there saying something about this guy staying with his mom. Why was he staying with his mom, though? Why do you care? So that's something that we have to work and, rework in our own culture to where you stop kicking your kids out when they're not prepared. Of course, you don't let them be bums, but damn, if they're not ready to go, then they will stay in the house. That's how it is. That's how it should be. I know there's going to be some people that disagree, and that's perfectly fine. But in my opinion, in the way that I run my house or any place that I'm staying, my child will always have a home. I don't care what the hell is going on. Some of the stuff that we put on out there in YouTube is just amazing that we just the audacity to do this in public. The dude just died, and there are people sitting there saying that, questioning why is he living with his mother? It's disheartening, man. Sometimes it's tough being in the Black community, man. I'm gonna tell y'all, this is a lot of emotions built up because I rarely talk about these things on my platform, but this needs to be said. We got an issue in the Black community, and it's just sad.